Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Of course, it takes 10 minutes for me to get online and go live with you guys, but if I was a whore in a bikini, it would happen instantaneously and probably when I'm not looking. So, anyway, uh, just finished a really cool Facebook, Instagram live with a gigantic huntsman spider that was hanging out on the patio with me looking for food. They're not really dangerous to humans. They're just really big. They're like big guys. They like shelled creatures like uh, Japanese beetles and cockroaches and millipedes and stuff like that. So anyway, but they're fast, man. They're big and they're fast. They're as fast as a cat. They're quick, huge legs. Anyway, so we were talking about racing stories this week, and I've got like a whole ton of really kick-ass ones, but I wanted to kind of talk about a different aspect of that, and that is getting your race car to the track. Since I have the truck in here right now, I did some testing earlier today to make sure all of my vehicles fit in the garage because hurricane season's coming up next month. So it was one of those things I'd never tested. So I wanted to make sure that the truck, the Viper, the Miata, all the motorcycles, everything fit in here so I could close it all in. And it does. It's tight fit, but it does all fit. So anyway, and I'm going to Naples tomorrow to pick up the trailer for Tail of the Dragon. So I was going to clay bar the truck tonight, but I'm going to wait to do that until after I get back from Naples. It's kind of silly to clean something, go drive an hour and a half there, get a trailer, come an hour and a half back, and then, yeah, it's dirty again. So we'll do some clay barring tomorrow night. So not so much stories, but experience with trailering race cars. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You can trailer it with average regular consumer vehicles. So if you have a light enough trailer, like an aluminum trailer, and you have a light enough race car, you can tow it with a Honda Pilot. We have done that before, all the way from Atlanta, all the way back to Columbus in 9 hours. So you can do it. It is not very much fun. It sucks in the rain, et cetera, but you can do it. So if you're going to do a lot of racing and going to a lot of different tracks and traveling more than, let's say, an hour, if you're going to be towing for more than an hour, get a decent tow rig. And the other good part is the tow rig is also versatile around the rest of your property. You can use it to move stuff, groceries, engine blocks, parts, all of that stuff. So it's not a single purpose thing like your race car is. It's a multi-purpose thing, and it's a solid investment. The other good part is you can also bail other people out. So when their truck goes down, you actually have a tow vehicle that's ready to go. This happened to us in South Carolina. Our main tow rig, he went out on a parts run for his parents' company. He was on his way back from that parts run, and his transmission deleted itself. Thankfully, we had my old truck, my old 2500, at the track. We were using it to haul down a ton of gear and extra people because it was a quad cab too. So we used my truck to haul the huge race trailer all the way back when my buddy took his truck over to a shop in Columbia and redid the transmission at a later date. So getting a tow rig for racing is if you're going to do more than, I would say if you're going to do more than 3 races in a season, get a tow rig. You don't have to have a $50,000 truck. You can have I would say a decent tow rig is going to be between $8,000 and $10,000. Actually, post-COVID, probably $10,000 to $15,000. You're going to want at least a half ton, which means F-250 or 2500 Ram or 2500 GMC, whatever. Definitely look around, make sure you get the right, options. And the one thing to really look for is the trailer or towing package. This includes some wiring for the 7-blade connector in the back. It also usually includes an option for wiring in a brake controller. Brake controllers are so important, especially in the rain. Whether you're an open trailer or an enclosed trailer, gooseneck fifth wheel, bumper pull, it doesn't matter. Being able to control those trailer brakes is huge because you do have this sort of uncontrolled mass behind you, and to have a little bit of control is a big thing. So being able to control that is great. Now, this truck is really nice. It has a built-in brake controller from the factory. It works very well. I can sort of set it, and I know for the 2 trailer packages that I use, I know what settings to use. One's 9 and one's 7, and that works great. There's add-on ones. Takancha makes a great one, but I usually smack my knee on it because you have to, it has an accelerometer on it, so you have to have it at like a 45-degree angle underneath the dash. And I usually smack my knee on those. I had one in my old Jeep Grand Cherokee that I was towing with, and I kept smacking my knee. Anyway, those work very well, and you can wire those in with something that does have a towing package. Towing package usually involves a little better suspension, springs, whatever, heavier duty shocks, and also the wiring necessary for if you want to add a 7-blade connector. It's actually, technically, it's called a Bardman connector, and there's 7-blade and 7-pin. Now, 7-pin you're going to find on RVs, 7-blade you're going to find on trucks like this. So make sure you have the right connector. The 4-pin connector you're going to find on most vehicles. I would say 90% of vehicles will have a 4-pin connector as part of their wiring. For some cars, you might have to look up underneath and it'll be zip tied up there, but most cars have the regular 4-pin. 4-pin only does brake lights, driving lights, and turn signals. That's all 4-pin does. When you get into 7-pin, it controls brakes as well as all the lights and stuff. And you also have 12-volt accessories. So if you want to put power in the trailer, you can do that. So that's why the Bardman connectors are great. And so make sure your tow rig is set up with that. You can check the build sheet. Ford has a great site for checking build sheets. Dodge, Stellantis, Ram, whatever. They have a great site for build sheets. If you guys want a link to that, let me know. I'll send it over. I don't want to post it up because it can get overloaded. But the Dodge one is great because you put in the VIN number, it'll show you the exact build sheet for your rig. Everything that came with it, power windows, power steering, power brakes, literally everything. It's like it's even more complete than a Moroni label. It's great. It's really nice. And it's something I do with all my vehicles. The Dodge vehicles, I'll print that out, staple it, and I'll put it in the folder with all the other receipts and stuff. Just so if there's any questions, I know that it has a 410 rear end. I know it has a 355. I know it has a 7-speed transmission, whatever. I can look that up really quick just by going through the sheet. The other thing for towing, and this one's a pain in the ass just because if you use your truck for something other than towing, like going to Home Depot or Lowe's or, moving engine blocks or whatever, tire pressures. Oh my God. Tire pressures on serious tow rigs are usually about 80 PSI. Now, compared to a normal car, which is about 30 to 35 PSI, that's really serious PSI, but you're also carrying a lot of weight. So it's understandable. The problem is when you're not carrying that weight, this thing is violent and it just beats the shit out of you. Every bump in the road, everything. So when I'm not towing anything, I usually drop the PSI down to 45 in the front and 50 in the back. The downside is the TPMS in the truck freaks out. It's like, hey, you have low tire pressure. But I'm okay with that. I click out of that really quick. So when you are going to, take these on the road without any sort of load attached, you might want to drop tire pressure by about 30 PSI just because it is. I mean, even down here in Florida where the roads are pretty smooth, it's bumpy everywhere. I mean, in Ohio, it literally beats the shit out of you. It is like getting beat up by your little brother every single mile you're driving down the road. It's awful. So, the other thing with regard to trailers, now trailers usually have backup, they have emergency braking systems, especially the 7-pin ones. If you get like I have one of the Harbor Freight folding trailers, which works great for hauling 2 motorcycles or, whatever. I can just unfold it and take it. And that's just a 4-pin connector. But if you have a bigger trailer, a 20-foot or a 49-foot, gooseneck or whatever, you're going to have, batteries involved. You're going to have a breakaway, which when the pin comes out of the breakaway, it locks up the trailer brakes so that the trailer stops. And those need charged. Those have a very small little deep cell battery in them. And then you probably have batteries in the trailer for your winch or for your jack stand or whatever. So having that power go there is important, and keeping the batteries charged is important. So the 20-foot that I'm picking up from Scott needs a new battery. So I'm going to put a new battery in it. But where it's being stored, there's no place to run. You'd have to run a 500-foot extension cord, which is not going to work. So we got to figure out a different way to keep those batteries maintained. And that is a trick I learned from Scott a while back. Get a solar charger. These solar chargers, they were pretty good back in the day. They're really good now. This one just came today, and this one is for the 20-foot. They're not very expensive, but they are great because there's nothing worse than going to, you pick up the trailer, you get back to the shop, you're going to load up the car, and the winch goes, whoa, because the battery's dead. Then you got to figure out how to get the battery charged, swap it out, whatever you want to do. And that's always a pain. So pick up these guys, and I'm just doing an unboxing for you guys. I honestly don't know this brand. Sun Apex is the brand, and this is a 20 watt. You want at least 20 watts. They do offer a 10 watt, but 20 watts is what you want. And then they have tiny ones like 1.8 watt and 9 watt. You don't want that stuff. That's for little tiny batteries. If you're doing a car battery, you want 20 watts at least. So comes with carabiners. Those are for the suction cups because you can mount it on like a glass window. And then it has all your connectors. And this is your controller for overcharging, all of that stuff. So I'm just going to set, these things are now caught on my fingers. Okay, there we go. There's 4 suction cups, but there's only 2 of those guys. Okay, I don't know how that mapped out, but oh, okay. Got it here. All of those cables. You see up here. And this is the panel. It is super thin, and this is that controller that's on the back. This is your nice long cable. And this guy is a little bit flexible, but not like I wouldn't fold them at all. There are ones that fold, but those are usually like 20 watts. These guys, especially here in the Florida sun, in Ohio, it's hard to get sunlight. You get those 4 or 5 days a year that have sunlight, maximize them. But here in Florida, you can set this on the box that holds the battery, and it's going to keep it charged the entire time. So this is going to work out great. He's going to fit right on top of, there's a battery box in front of the trailer, battery and winch are in there. This guy's going to fit in perfect. And then when we're not using him, put him inside the box, face against the wall so it doesn't get jacked up. And this just gives specs on it. 15 inches by 7.5 by 0.6. So it says it's a 1/2 inch thick. Oh, because it's adding on this. Sorry. I'm like, there's no way that's a 1/2 inch thick. So yeah, this is 20 watts. Maximum power is 18 volts, 1.1 amp. Not bad for solar. Like I said, these have gotten a lot better in the last, even 3 years.
So we're going to put this guy back together and just put these parts back in here how they were. The foam cutouts were actually just cutouts. So when I lifted everything up, it all fell out. Still trying to figure out how
this is nice. It has a cigarette plug, so you can charge your car if you want to. You can plug it into the cigarette lighter. It'll send 12 volts that way. This is the hard wire that it comes with. These go to the battery terminals. Those guys. And then he plugs in right here. And this is just, it's called an SAE plug. If you guys have ever seen one of those before. Standard on a lot of battery maintainers and simple electrical connectors. And then it has your typical clamp guys. That's funny. It has a boot on this side, but there's no wire. That's funny. So also, these are great to keep for, like, we're not going to use it on this rig, but these are great to keep in the shop. You can cut off this SAE connector and you can use it for powering other stuff. So if you want to check like a window regulator or whatever, you can hook this up to a car battery, or hook this up to the regulator and then hook the positive up and then just tap the ground, and that will, you can use it for testing, which is kind of nice if you don't have any of the test gear or a good 12-volt source. So keeping the battery maintained on your trailer is a very good idea, because it sucks when you go to winch the race car up. You get to winch the race car up and there's nothing there. So put this guy in the truck. Now, I have boost boxes in both, normally in my daily, but I have one in the Viper and I have one in the truck. The big boy one is in the truck, and I can use that to power batteries that are dead. So that's okay. But I'd rather not have to do that. I'd rather keep the battery in really, really great shape the entire time. And those battery maintainers are great. They won't overcharge, and they definitely won't undercharge. So I can look that guy up, but I think he was less than $30. And on a $250 battery or $300 battery, it's usually deep cell batteries for trailers. So you want to kind of, protect your investment a little bit. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. So yeah, I've had a few trailering. Had a tire blow out at 65 miles an hour, almost 70 miles an hour. Took the fender off one of the trailers. It was an open trailer. It took the fender off and sent it 20 feet in the air. And I remember this. I was on the phone with my dad, and I was just talking to my dad, normal conversation, and the tire blew up. It was age and Ohio roads, and the tire exploded and it sent the fender. The fenders were just clip on, and it sent it like 20 feet up in the air. Thank God I was in the right lane and it was the right fender, and it went into the grass on the side of the road. If I was in the left lane and it was the right fender, it would have jacked up traffic really bad. Probably would have hit someone's car. So I got lucky with that. But just trailers are a lot like anything else. Regular maintenance, and just check stuff. Check the tire pressures. Check the axles move correctly. Check the brakes with your brake controller in your tow rig, and keep it clean. Keep the decks clean. Keep the underside clean. Lube the ball receiver. Just keep some protected. And here, I'll show you what I use, just because I have it here. This is just hitch ball lube and an acid brush. And this is $5 or something. It's just clear lube, and it protects the hitch. And I have little condoms that go over the hitch balls. So that's it. I think it was $10 for that, and that'll keep my hitch from rusting and the inside of the ball receiver on the trailer from corroding, and helps the lock move and all that. Keep the lock mechanism lubed up and all of that. I can feel that mosquito down there. So trailer maintenance is another big thing. Once you get your tow rig, keep it maintained. Keep good tires on it. All seasons, good and wet and dry. Some guys like towing with the bro dozers, and that's fine if you want to risk that. For me, that's not my style. I would definitely prefer this setup and more a dually. That would be great too, depending on the load. So for me, this is what works. It's a 2016 Ram 2500 Laramie Plus, fully loaded, has every single option, sunroof, all of that. The only thing I don't have are the cab clearance lights, but I don't really mind. And that's also, I don't have those because I have the 4-link in the rear versus the live axle. So that's just how those packages went together, how those trucks went together. So you could get the Laramie, but you can't get the Laramie Plus with the clearance lights and the live axle and the 410. So you can get the regular Laramie with the clearance lights. And I don't know why they do that, but that's how they do that. So I got a little nicer interior, a few more features, but I didn't get the 410 and I didn't get the clearance lights. That's okay. I got a great deal on this, and it's been absolutely fantastic. My last tow rig, you guys remember my blue truck, was absolutely fantastic. That was a gas truck. That was a 5.7 Hemi with a 410 in the back. Absolutely towed like a dream. A lot of rust on the bed, but the interior stayed clean. And aside from, well, actually I did a lot of maintenance on that. I did a lot of upgrades, but I also had a lot of Ohio attacked that truck pretty hard. So I had to de-Ohio a lot of it, which control arms and TBL all the way on the underside. I did the same thing on this, about $200 in TBL just to protect it from the corrosion that happens instantaneously up there. And so yeah, you do the same thing with the trailers. You protect it, TBL it on anything steel, and that'll help keep it in good shape. The better shape that it's in, the more likely it's going to be ready to go. As soon as you pull up and load the car, you can just get the hell out of town and go to the track. So what you don't want to do is go get the trailer, put it on, and then realize you got 10 things to do on the trailer before you can leave. That part sucks. I've done that too. So maintain the trailer, maintain the truck, makes it a lot easier to take everything to the track. So that's about it tonight. I'll work on some other stories for you guys for tomorrow night. But since the truck was here and since I'm picking up the trailer, I figured I'd give you some race tow advice on what works for me, and hauling 1 or 2 cars. This works great. If you have an entire Dale Jr. team, you're going to have huge rigs, plural, the hospitality suite rig, triple. So yeah, you can have a lot of rigs. If you're doing grassroots stuff, if you're doing fun stuff, you're usually going to have a rig like this, maybe two car haulers, and you can have a good time. So once you get into that range, then you might start looking at a toter home. And some of the toter homes, there's great deals out there. Actually, a lot of race teams are upgrading and they're selling off their old ones. So you might take a look around at Racing Junk and look around on Facebook Marketplace. There's some really good deals on toter home setups. If you're in that $200,000 to $400,000 range, if that's an investment for you for your racing team, then maybe that's the way to go. But for me and for what I do, I can haul 3 cars with this. I'm okay. Absolutely okay. So we'll do some clay barring tomorrow night, and we'll talk more, some more fun about racing stories. The one that I got from a friend of mine in Colorado said, asked me if I could tell the story about racing school with Brian Till. And I would love to tell you guys that one because it's incredibly embarrassing, but it is so much fun. And Brian Till is an amazing instructor. He is a hell of a driver, IMSA, just a kick-ass IMSA driver. And he's a commentator for NBC and Sky and Peacock and whoever else. He's super smart. He's an incredible driver, super nice guy. And yeah, I have a good one from racing school. So that one's pretty funny. And it makes me crack up just thinking about it, just because of how funny it is. And I've got some other ones from when I was working with SRT Track Experience too. So I'll pass those over to you guys tomorrow night while we clay bar. This is going to be a 2-part. So we're going to do the front half of the truck and then the back half, or I should say the front half and then the bed. So we'll do it as a 2-parter, and we'll do it like a Friday night, Saturday night, or Saturday night, Sunday night. So we can talk about crazy racing stuff while getting the truck clean. A typical shop. If you've ever gone to someone's personal shop, this is usually what Friday and Saturday nights are. I don't have any beer. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. And if you came over here from Facebook and Instagram where I was hanging out with that huge spider, thanks for doing that too. I really appreciate it. And to all the new subscribers, you guys, I'm watching this thing just go, and YouTube's like, hey, good job. You're on a streak, whatever it is. Thank you guys very much. I'm glad you're enjoying this. And hopefully I'm bringing you better and better stuff. I love hearing from you guys. I see a ton of messages. I've got a bunch of messages from people saying, hey, thanks. We appreciate the reality and the truth and the no bullshit and if it breaks, it breaks. And if it goes, it goes. They love that. So I'm really glad you guys like that part. I'm going to keep doing it. Like I said, I don't get paid a dime for this. So I'm doing this because you guys are enjoying it and I love teaching. So that's how it goes. So yeah, we'll come back. If I can, I'll do one Friday night. I should have everything set with the trailer. The only condition would be if the trailer needs a lot of help, but I don't think it does. So I'll get the trailer parked. That sounded weird. I'll get the trailer placed into position in the yard, and then I'll bring the truck in here and we can clay bar it. So if not tomorrow night, then we'll do that on Saturday. So thank you guys very much. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. Oh, mosquito. Get out of here. I will catch you very soon. All right. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you later. Clay bar. Full-size truck. Wow. Here we go.